I'm glad I muted all the stuff for that.
Good.
I'll make sure it doesn't make it into the episode either, since we sunk.
We
We synced everything already.
we scranked.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
scrumped. As the kids say, we
Unfortunate
scrumped.
timing.
Oh, so
Is that a word that the kids use?
it is now.
All right.
I mean, I'm a kid. Am I right?
Add it to the social zeitgeist. Why not?
The social zeitgeist.
That's like the third time I've used that phrase today.
The social zeitgeist is such an interesting concept that I totally understand and yet also never really participate in.
Do you do memes and stuff?
Oh my god, dude, you're on a group chat with me. How many gifts?
Okay, so you contribute to it.
No, I know I do. I'm just
Or maybe you pull from it,
no.
whatever works.
I'm firmly in the zeitgeist. I'm like I use terms like yeet and skibbity.
Oh, God. I'm glad Amelia's not back in here, because if she heard you say that, she would not stop.
I know it's weird to have like when now you have children who are of an age where they're learning, like they have things that they like glom
They're
onto.
coming on with new shit that I have no idea, and I'm like, I'm trying to catch up here.
But I
I'm
mean,
just like, stop. I want to hear it.
Isn't the highlight of age when you watch like the VMAs and they're like now performing Blendorp, and you're like, who the fuck is this? I don't know who
Oh, you
that
never heard of
is.
Blendorp before?
Right. And then you're like, and then it'll be like, and a lifetime achievement award for Breaking Benjamin, and you're like, wait, what? Like,
Oh, ugh, that'll make you feel old.
yeah. I'm like, woof.
Thanks. Why you do that?
I'm wearing a Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt, and they've been a band for quite literally probably 40 years now.
I was gonna say at least older than me. No offense.
I mean, what are you, 37?
Yeah,
I remember 37.
good guess.
That was a good year.
That was just yesterday.
Oh yeah, wait, you had your birthday, right? Recently.
Every year. Yeah.
I mean, recently, you butt.
Yeah, August.
August. Oh, you're an August baby?
Yeah.
Oh man. You gotta be you and
the
Terry.
summer blockbuster that year.
And when's Meg's birthday?
September.
So like, oh, it's funny because you, her, Terry, when were your? I'm sorry, just to be this guy. When were your kids'
No, you're good.
birthdays?
So Amelia and Lauren is kind of funny because their birthdays are literally inverses of each other.
Really? How's so?
Yeah. Well, Lauren was born on June 29th,
Yeah.
and Amelia was born on September 26th. 629-926.
That's a easy way to remember.
Yeah.
I can like remember I obviously remember Terry's birthday. Every other, and my own, and my brothers and my sisters, and that's really basic. And my cousin, and that's it. Every other birthday,
All gone.
all gone.
See, that's why I got this. I just put it in there and say, remind me every year so I don't forget.
Oh, I do. I have a running tally, and I need to add yours, and need to add your entire family because it's.
Thank you for reminding me. I have to add you to mine as well. I asked and never added it in.
When is my birthday?
February.
Yes, the unfortunate February birthday that corresponds with a movie. Come on. Come on. There's only one. Well, there's the most useless holiday in the year.
Right. Okay, are you talking about that Valentine's Day Massacre movie?
No, the most useless one. It is the second day in February. Come on.
It must be really useless because I have no idea.
Groundhog Day?
Oh. Yeah. Never
Jesus
mind.
Christ, man.
You're right.
The,
That one is
the
useless.
Dumbest Holiday
Okay.
has one of the most famous movies.
You're right. I didn't even think about that movie. Jeez.
Well,
See, that's how useless it is.
imagine growing up and every single solitary person asking you for a stretch of 20 years and then getting to be like in your mid 20s and people don't ask it anymore and then hitting 30 all the way through 40 and people start asking it again. So Groundhog Day is your favorite movie, huh? It's like, no, it's not. It's a good movie. I'm like Harold Ramis directed it and he was R.I.P., but no, it's not my favorite movie.
Right. That would get annoying.
It's one of the perks of having a birthday that corresponds to a movie.
I guess. Is that really a perk?
No.
Okay, look, I brought it over this time so I can show it off.
Hell yeah, man. That thing
Okay,
looks so
I know
cool.
my camera sucks, so you can't really see it. There you are. Look, there
Whoa,
he is.
I'm in the game.
I'm playing Sean. Anyway, I wish you could actually see like the holograph thing. Amelia had me change it out, so now instead of this little bad boy being in it,
Yeah.
looks just like the cartridge, but it's actually the Lego thing. It's got Link's Awakening in it, so I had to match the holograph inside.
So
But can you hear this?
I can't on your. It's too quiet.
Okay.
But I'll probably be on the podcast. Like when
Yes,
you mix.
it sounds just like the old Game Boy when you put it in, and the switch at the top actually clicks,
Oh yeah. And the
and then the buttons have feedback.
yeah, because they have the elastic bands on the back, right? Well, the elastic band on the back of the D-pad, and then the other ones have like some sort of like rubber gasket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
then to switch that stuff out, you just pop off the back there, and then this flops down, and that's how you change out the little screen in the back.
Oh, that's pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, on our notes for today's podcast, I actually dropped something in for the Lego nerds.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I didn't look. I'm excited.
Oh, you added a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, just a couple things. A lot of Xbox news this week. What? Xbox news this week.
I'm sorry.
Should we do our
Yeah, I'm just reading. So, first of all, we have to start with our usual.
Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Oh, yeah. It was funny because
So, our,
I just got to the part. I just finished book 4 and I just started book 5.
Okay.
And remember how you were like, wait, how did they get Ferdinand? How'd they get Gravy Boat? And I'm like, they have Gravy Boat. Like, Gravy Boat was with them. And rereading it again, I had a moment too where I'm like, how do they have Gravy Boat? They're not in Seattle. Oh, they're in Seattle. I forgot.
yep.
Because she flew back
Yep.
because Carl broke up with her and da-da-da-da-da.
Yep. And I don't know where they were at the time. Did they cover like what happened so that way they survived, or was it just because
Yes.
they were flying?
No, so even if you were in a plane, you died. So they flew back. They got held on a delay. It was like a 10-hour delay. They landed. They were like outside because they couldn't find a ride because they had landed so late. And because they were outside, they were with a group of dentists. And while they were outside, some guy... Well, they were in a parking structure, and then some guy came in and set a fire, like Angela did.
Agatha.
Agatha, I'm sorry. Like Agatha did. So they ran outside, and the minute they ran outside, the entire, like, parking structure got sucked into the ground. So they were just, like, at Seattle Airport.
Okay, now this might be just me thinking way too, like paying too much attention to detail, but do you think that it was actually like somebody like Agatha? Because I don't know what she is, but she's clearly someone different.
Oh, you haven't gone there yet. Oh, I know the...
Not yet, but
I
it's
know-
clear that she's not a regular person
I know the...
at this point.
I know the definitive answer to that, and you'll get there.
But was this another instance of that, or is this just someone setting fire to something?
I rereading it now, I believe that it is not like a random event.
Interesting.
And they go over it. They go over. Basically, you'll find it. I think it's in book 7 where they go over exactly who Agatha is and how that pertains to one, why she's still alive, and then two, like there's a whole series of who Agatha is such a multi-pronged question because she is like a faction of a faction that pertains to the Crawl. Oh, that's all I will say.
Okay. So from them arriving, they ended up back towards her place and realized like there was nothing there, but Ferdinand was in the tree.
And the
that's why
head
she
was on
like,
the ground.
Oh, I know
remember?
you. I'm going to keep you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's.
But then, like, it was what's her name? I always forget Odette's
Lexus?
assistant's name.
Lexi?
Lexus.
Yeah.
It was. I think it's Lexus.
Yeah.
She showed up and stopped the 2 bounty hunters or whatever that was searching for B in them.
Mm-hmm.
But they were specifically looking for Ferdinand.
Yes. I believe they were looking for Ferdinand, and then they found B. And
Right.
then when they found B, they were like, oh.
Oh shit!
And remember, they're talking in the alien language. They're talking in common galactic tongue or whatever they call it. And then he looks at her and he goes,
Of course, now I can't think of it too.
yeah.
Syndicate standard.
Syndicate standard. And so then he looks over and he sees B, and he's like, Beatrice? Like, he just realizes it. And that's when Lexus comes in. And I thought those guys, and because again, I hadn't read that book in a long time. I thought those guys like lived or something, and they killed whatever the dude's name is, Brad. But what happened is Lexus calls Odette, and Odette says, "Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to leave the cat in a box. You're going to let Brad die, and you're going to pin that on the Null, who's one of the bounty hunters, and then we're going to buy out his warrant or whatever, so that way it's a great deal for everybody." So they just let some dude die, and it's
But they still got the bounty that those guys wanted, because that would be how Ferdinand showed up in the dungeon.
correct. So when they left the cat, so they called their own contacts and Borant or whoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Hey, by the way, you might want to get over here." So they called their contact. They come, grab Ferdinand, see Brad dead, and then they turn in the Null bounty hunter guy.
Right. And they, I guess, spirited away B.
Yeah, and
Because she's a free citizen now.
Lexus took B.
Right.
Right.
But she is a free citizen for all intents and purposes. She doesn't come back around and she's being used for any other purposes.
Yes, exactly. Then that actually ties into the thing of I need to, when you are done, when you've caught up completely, we're going to talk a little bit in depth. We're going to have probably an entire episode devoted to just talking about...
Let's talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Right, because there are things, and I'm not saying it's bad, because again, this series isn't complete. There's still going to be another 4 books or something, right? So...
I think you said 10, yeah.
And if he does the full 10, they'll probably end up touching on it. But B's storyline is extremely interesting to me, not because of what happens, but what doesn't happen. When you're done, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it for you yet, because again, you don't know what's going to be happening because you're still in book 6. You haven't even gone to book 7 yet. Once you get to book 7, you complete it. Then I'm going to be like, so, here are my thoughts. Because this is an interesting thing for me.
So where are you at currently?
So right now, again, I'm literally at the start of book 5. Carl just got into, he just broke into the town. So, and he used the ring
Oh, the
for
Hunter's Town?
correct, and he used the
Yeah,
ring
yeah.
for the first time. That, which by the way, that shit is cold. Like
Yeah.
happy hunting. It just says happy hunting, and I'm like, oh,
It was also really unexpected, too, because he's just like, me and Donut's got something to do. I'm like, what's he doing? And then he just threw himself in there and did all that. We're like, oh, God, what's going on?
oh
Like,
yeah,
nuts.
I love. And again, rereading, like, so for example, at the end of book 4, I forgot that he pulled the switch around, where he was like, oh, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to unleash a god. And everyone was like, oh no. And then he was like, psych, I'm just going to dump the whole ocean into the middle of the one, like, respite town, making it so
Yeah.
that we kill an entire army.
And in book 6, they're still talking about how they're trying to unflood the city, and it's like they still got a whole lot of work to do.
But they're not there yet, right?
They're not there yet. They're just talking about how when they get like all the stuff that's going on the Rockos, they still got a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
'Cause okay, where I just finished in book 6, they were talking to, and this was really surprising. They met up with the team, got through like the team that was wary of them, and I forget who they were calling themselves, but it was like the really religious folks,
Yes.
the half cat lady. They got through that little side quest and fixed the town that they were in. They just got to, they got to a Desperado club and was talking with Katya. He met up with Don Quixote, and he was talking about her assassination mission that she has to do. So he's like, well, I got some ideas because I've already met this person. But in amongst that, him and Donut, since they bought a spot in Faction Wars, which I thought was really cool, thanks to their pacifist group or whatever, helping them secure funds to have their own spot in Faction Wars.
Yeah.
They were meeting with all the different warlords and trying to figure out what was going on, and Juicebox showed up.
Oh yes, with the when they're doing with the holograms.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cold.
That was intense. I was like, oh shit, Juicebox is still alive, yeah! And like she just starts taking out everybody, and like Carl arguing for like actual deaths to happen and giving them their own spot and stuff. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
Like I've got an idea of what's gonna happen, but like he's fighting to have, I'm guessing, to have them on his team when it comes to that. That's intense.
So I will say book 7 is a tour de fucking force, right? Like,
Dude, if the end of book 5 is anything, I can't imagine where this book's gonna go. Oh, I just meant Uzi Jesus too.
oh, Uzi Jesus is good. Did you meet the seal yet?
Yeah. Well,
Kung Fu seal.
Is there more? That that was at the very beginning
Yeah.
when like
Yeah.
when they first met the group.
Right.
Is that where the whole baby seal came from?
I think so.
I need a seal.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so. It's good. I really like, and it's funny because we have a lot of things we're going to talk about on the podcast about Pokemon and stuff. Not a lot, but I wanted to touch on it. But I love the Pokemon-esque card battle
battling stuff.
system. Yeah, it's so good. I really like the one thing that I really, really enjoy about by virtue of the way that the books are structured, each book kind of feels like a different video game.
Yes,
And I love that.
I would agree.
And
I'm going to say for better or worse, because some of them start off kind of slow or it's really boring, but once it like gets into it and it starts like pulling in more things, it gets a lot more interesting. Like the card thing is, I was like, what are they going to do with it? And when it started, it was really slow. But then the fact that they can turn crawlers into cards and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, that's messed up.
And you are, and forgive me, what is this? Is the name of the book is
The Eye of the Bedlam Bride.
Okay, wait till you meet the Bedlam Bride. Then things go fucking nuts. Like, it is. I agree with you, and actually, that's now that you are a little bit further in, we can talk about that. That is one thing that rereading those boring parts are actually now the parts that I'm like really enraptured with. Like the entire thing with the old folks home. Like rereading that through book one with Agatha, and you're like, and especially knowing who Agatha is, now I'm like picking up on things that I'm like would have just blown past. For example, you said, "Oh, you met," because this happened in the previous book. Gravy Boat appears, and Gravy
Yes.
Boat appears with, is it Africi or it's Florian's girlfriend who died?
They thought it was, but he showed up and said it's actually her
Twin sister, right? Right.
Yes, Afici is what I think. Yeah, is what her name is.
So, and I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't pick up on this, and the only reason I remembered it because we talked about it last week. In the scene where the bounty hunters are getting Ferdinand, one of them says to the other one, "Oh, I wish I was with that other team, the one in the Bahamas. They're getting that dead crawler's twin." And I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, oh,
wow.
And that's what, like, even when because one of the things that I run into, especially in first person books, I always want to stay with the protagonist or the person who's relating the story. And this is one thing you're going to see. I think in book 7, they start doing a lot of third person, like, omniscient. Third person omniscient. But in combination with Carl. And every time that I get taken out of Carl's perspective, I'm like, oh yeah, we got to read through this. And then reading through that, I was like, oh shit, this is really good.
Okay, this is going to sound really weird, but the way you said that reminded me of another part in the book, and the AI took the form of some creature or character.
Yes.
Just to speak directly with Carl.
Yes.
And why the fuck is he all about feet?
Oh,
He's like basically moaning and getting off over rubbing his feet just so he can give him personal information. Why does he like feet so much, and why the hell did he intentionally took a form just to interact with Carl and give him specific information? Why does he like Carl so much?
that is, and again, that's actually one thing. And this is why I want to talk with you, especially about B's story, because there are stories where I'm like, is there going to be a payoff? And that's where B's story is one of them. And I don't want to ruin anything for you, but there are stories where it seems like it's going to be monumental, but I don't know if it's just flavor text, but it's all very good. And that's where I'm like, I highly recommend once you get through it, give it some time, go to a different series, whatever, but then jump back into it.
I'm still surprised that B is sticking around even after this, because it feels like she's all done. So the fact that you're like, no, there's more to her, I'm like, what?
Do you want me to kind of ruin it for you? No, I'm not going to ruin it for you. Read book 7, then we'll talk about it.
Damn it.
Well,
All right.
anyways.
I have not updated the board, but I know what number we're on,
Yes.
and I'm going to try and do it without messing it up this time.
60,
I always do it.
69.
No. Rainbow Pack Podcast, episode 73, and we're down a mic, so it's just me, Adam.
And I'm Sean.
Yay. And you said we got a lot of AI talk about.
Talkie. Yeah, the funny thing is, you put some stuff about AI, and we'll probably jump into it. I also found a bunch of stuff on AI, and I would have expected there to be a lot more AI talk about various, like, video game companies. I expected it a little bit earlier than this, but, like, this week seems to be, like, a real turning point on using AI, especially considering last week we had that long discussion about what is art. Is it okay to use, generative AI? I would, to do, routine and mundane functions, whatever. And that kind of ties directly into a few of the stories that we are going to be touching on.
Yeah. I think that there's probably a lot more AI use in the industry that we just don't hear about because there would be backlash for it.
Totally. Totally. And to be fair, again, I use AI. I don't care for it. I use it. It is a fundamentally useful tool that I don't care for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Taco Bell.
AI, even though they get stuff wrong, I'm glad that like Google's AI and stuff like that, they're good aggregators. They'll at least point you in some directions and provide the links for them so you can go in and read the shit to see if it's right or wrong. It's good for aggregating stuff at least.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for me, like, my background was not in computers. My background is in English. And I've kind of
Your background is a bed right now.
my background is an entire bedroom.
You're welcome.
So I didn't have like I wish I had gone to school for like computer engineering or something. I didn't. My role now is currently changed to being something that is more tech savvy. I need to know more about technology. So a lot of the things I use it for are like, hey, AI, can I do this thing to make this automated thing? And then it says yes. And then I say, cool. How do I do that? And then I take whatever they do and adapt it to whatever I'm doing.
It's almost like a personalized teacher.
Right. But then there's also the fundamental problem is AI is taking all of those answers came from a person at some capacity. It didn't just make it up whole cloth. And that's
it's
where
scraping websites for the information based on keywords.
Right. And it's like at the end of the day it gets weird. And I'm not a huge like in my personal life I don't use AI for anything. Like why?
Right.
I just
Same here.
look it up, with my eyeballs and my big phone. But when it comes to like work stuff, I mean it does serve a function, but I don't love it. I'm not jazzed about it.
I mean, the company I work for just announced their AI initiative and how they're going to start building their own language models for stuff to help legal. So I'm like, well, here it is. I knew it was coming. It's not necessarily going to put people out of a job. It actually brought people in to form their own team to like train the models and stuff like that, which is cool.
Right.
But and they're going to be sitting on top of it to make sure that everything that goes in and out is accurate and right. But it's still at the very beginning of this stuff.
Right.
They're at least talking about it and letting people know this is going on.
Right. And actually, that was when I at my role before I was doing the role I'm at now, I was in a different technical capacity, and my previous manager was like, "We're going to use AI as like a knowledge aggregator," but it wasn't like ChatGPT. It was more of like it's a crawling program that will go through PDFs, Word documents, websites, whatever, and search keywords.
Yeah.
So you can type in, how do I do blank? And it will just pull up a bunch of stuff from specified locales. And I literally went into that. I was like, you need to know if you're going to implement this, you should be creating jobs, not using people that are in the jobs now to try to train this and do the jobs that they're already doing to then offload those people later. That's not the way it should be done. And it kind of ended up becoming that, and now it's not really worth a lot because we didn't it's not AI is not a catch-all term for like it will fix all of your problems. You need to do work on it.
Right.
That being said,
where do we want to start with AI?
So
with our AI stories.
So I will start off with my AI stories only because your AI stories kind of tie into a whole Xbox thing.
I mean, like, it's one subsection of a lot of different Xbox news. So
right. So,
lay it on me, homie.
All right. So the first one that I got is basically, Hi-Fi Rush. Do you remember that game?
I loved it. It was a great Xbox game.
No, well, you're not going to love this. So the new owner of the studio that
Crafton.
yes, they are putting a $69 million plan together to become AI first.
Why? What is their reasoning for that? Because I felt like the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush was in a good spot, despite Xbox laying them off and then being picked up by Crafton.
So,
Not that I expect you to have all the answers.
well, and actually, I pulled it
I'm
up.
asking to the ether why.
Right, no, totally. And so, basically, they put out a press release on Thursday. It says it's going to invest $69 million in a GPU cluster that will support multi-stage
69.
tasks. 69 million. That will will support multi-stage tasks requiring sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning, and will serve as a foundation for accelerating the implementation of agentic AI. So basically they're using it for workflow automation. So, like, I guess
But
here's my thing.
There's tools already for that.
Right. And I guess therein lies the thing. Using AI as a tool in a company that's already existed is one thing, but like using it to then do tasks
I had a thought.
What you got?
I think you're leading into it. Like they're going to leverage the AI to do like the simple tests so that other people can do like the harder stuff and like do the building block shit. Where they'll do the basis of level building or whatever and say, I want it to look like this and here are my tools that I use to build it. Can you make this? And then like they'll start going in and touching it up and adding all the special shit to it.
Right. And that's what I hope is going to happen. But again, I think, and it's funny because it ties into a couple of my other stories. Does that mean that they are going to keep their current workflow? I mean, current work staff? Are they going to let people go? I am not sure of that. And like, is there a world where I think that I think that anything, whether you're in, you're in workflow optimization, whether you're in AI, whether you're doing things like Six Sigma, Lean, Scrum, any of these like, these business business excellence type programs. Those are totally fine as long as they're meant to support the work staff that you currently have. The minute that you start firing people or letting them go because you don't need some, gym to, like do textures for rocks, well, now somebody's on a breadline, and this is my whole worry. I was thinking about learning how to code, and I was like, why at this point? At this point, in the very near future, coding is not going to be something humans do. You just type it into a thing. I would like a code to do this, and it just gives you the code.
We're getting there, sadly.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's my worry too. I think the studio's not very big to begin with, so like leaning on AI kind of makes sense. But like expand the workforce, not make it more lean because you have this other tool that helps with that.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's not like it's the bottom line on a spreadsheet. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's if we use AI, we're going to get $3 million back out of our overhead. Cool, but who gets that $3 million?
Yeah.
Then there's, on a funny note, because of course it is, EA is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to integrate AI into their current workflows, right? And they have a generative chatbot, Reef GPT, to automate game development.
Bungie does as well.
Huh?
Bungie does too.
Well, no, buckle in.
Okay.
So they have, and again, it's an experimental AI tool, right?
Okay.
The problem is these experimental AI tools cause coding errors, and again, I'm basing this on a Reddit post, causes
Okay.
hallucinations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Increasing workload and employee anxiety amid industry layoffs. So, what you're having happen is you've already let go of half of your staff. You say to the other half of your staff, you need to use AI. You have this tool set that you need to then implement, and that tool set sucks. And then you have
Just
to
making shit up.
right. So then instead of making it so that you have the same amount of staff with less work and more opportunity to contribute back into the company, now you have half of the staff who has to work twice as hard to fix the AI that you brought in to remove the other half of the staff.
Right. Yikes. Sounds like they tried implementing something without working out all the bugs first.
Yep. So, and again,
I wonder if they even have a team that's working on the AI bot either.
well,
Or if they just got it to where a point they're like, we're happy with it. See you guys later.
I mean, again, therein lies the decision. Like, if you're going to implement something like that, can you? Yes. Again, in a world, I think that there is a world where you could do that, and not that it would be. It's doable. The problem is, I think there's a mindset of when somebody says AI, the immediate thought is, oh, well, that will make our lives easier. No, AI is literally. We use AI at my work, and we're trying to implement an AI solution, and we use very technical, jargony type things. And so my litmus test for it, and I broke the AI. I was like, I gave it a very specific question, and I said, give me the answer to this question. And this AI, who has the technical documents from, the industry that I work in, gave me the wrong answer. And I keep using that as an example because AI doesn't have the ability to reason. It just looks at the most common combination of words and then spits it back out at you.
And depending on how it's written, it's always input output, right? If you get garbage in, you're getting garbage out too.
And unlike something like, I don't know, like HTML code, you can't go through AI. That's the whole thing is, even if you are an AI expert, AI is fundamentally very, very difficult to, really iron out. It's meant to be complicated. So you can't just, you can see the outputs and say, no, that's not correct, and it will keep trying until it gets it right. But that doesn't tell you why it got that wrong to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. It's good stuff.
I don't even know what to think about EA, but I'm not surprised.
Well, you're going to love this one. Nintendo.
Okay.
Everyone knows Nintendo.
I think I've heard about Nintendo stance.
Nintendo don't like AI.
Yep.
And
They're old school.
I will say that kind of tracks with their industry, with their place in the industry. They are
I agree.
They are fundamentally old company with new ideas. You know what I mean? They want to do it nose to the grindstone. You push it out. If it's good, great. If not, whatever. But they want a person doing that.
I think they want to be the actual creators because when you put AI into a creative project, you're losing part of that creativity and soul from it. And Nintendo is nothing if not soulful games, if that makes sense. When it comes to any kind of Nintendo games, you can feel the actual development behind it and the love and care that they put into the game and every little bit of the consoles they can squeeze out of it. So once you start implementing that stuff, you're losing part of that.
Right. And I think that's the thing where one of the things I love about Breath of the Wild is you could walk by a rock and you look at the rock and you're like, somebody put that there. There was a decision made by a human person to put that there. For randomly, and again, I'll use No Man's Sky, and it's better, but it's algorithmic. It's based on, it's not AI, but it's based on
It's
design.
a procedural algorithm that they designed to
Correct.
help seed the universe.
Right. So are there cool and interesting, and like Minecraft, it's the same thing.
Yes.
There are interesting things in Minecraft, but it doesn't feel deliberate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that it's
A
bad.
lot of it doesn't make sense when you look that close to it.
Right.
But it's still interesting.
It's super
just-
interesting.
There's still missing that je ne sais quoi. It's missing something.
Right. And going back to the thing I asked last week, what is art? You know, I am not one to say that Minecraft is not art. But
Right.
there is something there's a definite difference to me between something like a procedurally generated world that is filled in by an algorithm versus, you know, running around in Breath of the Wild and seeing, you know, just like the actual love and care that was put into it by human people.
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that works the most for that kind of thing, and not even necessarily the AI aspect of it, but it's like the roguelike aspect of it. Like, God, what is the, not Bulletstorm, but the fucking...
Returnal?
No, Enter the Gungeon.
Oh, Enter the Gungeon, oh yeah.
So it's like they built puzzle pieces for maps, but then it's all procedurally thrown together for it to make sense. There's always going to be an exit. There's always going to be a certain things for this. It's always going to push you forward to like increase your characters and things like that.
Right.
And every run is supposed to be different.
Right.
But it's not AI. It's the procedural stuff, and it works like that. I think if you can design tools to let the AI procedurally generate things that make sense based on the rules that you apply to it, it could work. But that's still like that's walking a fine line, pulling an AI to even do that.
Totally. And I think that's the thing of, and again, that sounds like I'm slamming roguelites and procedurally generated. I love Enter the Gungeon. I love, you know, Binding of Isaac. I love all those games. I love Hades. Hades is a prime example.
Hades, yes.
It is procedurally generated roguelike that has art behind it. There was love put into it. And
Hades is a really good example because even the roguelike elements are deliberate. Because you're always upgrading, you're always moving forward, things are getting a little bit easier or making more sense.
Right.
But they designed it that way too. It's not just random, you might get this, you're good to go.
right. And I think that's the thing that is really, I don't know, like if you have, and not to slam our AI overlords, but if you have a soulless computer, they'll put out stuff that it thinks that you think you want. I forget where I was reading this recently or heard this recently. Somebody said something along the lines of the worst thing you can do as in like for a franchise is listen to the fans, and it tracks, right? Like
Yeah.
part of the things we love about the Legend of Zelda, like that wouldn't get off the ground now, but somebody put it out there, it resonated with an audience, and they continued with it. Could you make, I'm sure AI could generate any number of like free-to-play garbage shovelware games, but at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, it's not going to make, a Skyrim. It's not going to make, a Breath of the Wild. It's not going to make one of those games.
No, but I like that you said Skyrim because I can see an Elder Scrolls game where they use AI to generate characters that have their own voices and their own like needs and wants and schedules for throughout the day or whatever. Like that would be a good application for that because then that takes the load off of other designers. So that way they can work on quests and stuff like that, or they can even seed it with like specific character creation ideas.
Sure. I think the thing for me is like if you're going to use AI or anything to do that, then don't developers make it so that, the simple coders and, physics engine gurus or whoever's developing the game have to work, 19-hour days and sleep at their office. If you want to do that, that's fine. But give the people who are actually busting their asses the ability to go home to their families and shit.
Crunch should still not be a thing.
Especially not now. Like, again, we have tools that can do this for you. Don't work harder, work smarter.
Yes.
Not developers.
So
Developers
Nintendo.
always work smart.
So Nintendo's not for AI.
And neither is the Pal World developer.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I've always felt like they were kind of old school, and they took pride in what they made, so that makes sense.
yeah, and I think, and again, I don't know if this is ubiquitous in Japan, but it's just interesting that Nintendo and Pocket Pair, who is the developer of Pal World, both residing in Japan, are like, no, we are not doing this.
Yep. A lot of the same mentalities.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I love the idea that there are. It's not like the small developers that are like, no, we can't do this. It's like the big developers who are like actively lobbying, so that way other large developers can use this to then axe their entire, their entire workforce.
Mm-hmm. Funny you say the big companies that do it, because Microsoft has been reported to be all in, despite some people saying no, we're not. There's been a lot of other people from inside Microsoft and Xbox that have said, yeah, they want us to start using AI.
I mean, tracks. I mean,
I don't even know where to go from there, just because like the Microsoft news itself is. Let's start with Microsoft, then move into Xbox, because then it'll turn into games. Microsoft apparently, according to Jason Schreier's like inside research news from folks there, is that Microsoft was pushing a 30% profit margin on Xbox, which is way above the standard for the industry, which is surprising.
Right. I mean, aren't consoles a loss leader? Like, isn't that the whole thing? You end up
Always.
losing money
Yeah.
on the console because you make it back up in the games.
Mm-hmm. And what's funny is that there's I don't remember if it was Xbox or Microsoft specifically. I think it was one of the Xbox execs said that people are tired of exclusives, like they're burnt out or worn out about it. And I'm like, well, where the fuck was this like a few years ago when everybody was trying to make exclusives? Everyone was saying it's a bad idea to begin with. Why are you still doing it?
Right.
And now they're like, we got to make up money for all the shit that we pulled. So to make up that extra percentage that they have to intake, that was where all the layoffs and things came from. Probably where the leveraging for AI came from as well, and like all the layoffs and the studio closures and the game cancellations and project stoppage and all that fun shit.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah.
But even better, HCS, the Halo Championship Series, is going to be going on this weekend, starting on Friday. Supposedly, they're going to be showing off a new game. There's some speculation that it's going to be the Halo CE remake. Two interesting things with that. One, they think that if that's the case, this one's going to be announced that it's going to be for the PS5 as well, which is going to be pretty neat. A whole other audience that have been waiting to get it for those who don't want to get an Xbox. Cool. I'm all for more people. Still going to be weird to see Master Chief on the PlayStation, considering it's always been an Xbox exclusive thing, and you've always heard them say, no, this is Xbox, staying on Xbox, not going anywhere else. Different times we're living in now, I guess. But the other problem is that there have been a handful of reports, and two different folks on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, were going back and forth saying, yes, this is it, and then another one saying no. Specifically, Rebs Gaming was saying that Xbox Studios, specifically Halo Studios, is reported to be using generative AI, which they've now updated to say it's actually procedural AI for their next game, which is the Halo CE remake.
Huh.
Also, they're supposedly working on a live service multiplayer game project that's similar to Fortnite. News to me. Didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
But then another big user on X is Jez Corden. He was saying, no, that's not true. AI wasn't being used in that. Despite Rebs Gaming coming back and people pointing out that actually this is probably true, because before there was some job listings that were confirmed hiring for generative AI use in some of those positions within Halo Studios. So it's kind of hard to fight that when the studio itself is hiring for those positions to begin with. And a lot of those rumors were actually backed by Jason Schreier's report about the profit margin and then pushing the use of AI. But from what I was reading, their use for AI, they want it to be more, like I said, procedural based and somehow using enemy AI in the procedural AI being used to generate enemy AI. Where I don't know how I feel about that because Halo's AI was built on Bungie's design for them, and I thought that was like perfect. They kept tweaking it here and there between 2, 3, and Reach, and I felt like they got it in a good spot.
Yeah.
And even in the newer games, it still felt akin to that. I don't know if they messed with it or if they ported it over and still built upon it or whatever.
Right.
But it felt good. So if they use an AI to generate your character AIs or things that you run into, I don't know how I feel about that or how that's going to feel or look. But
Well, and
we'll see what they say.
it's funny that you say that too, because the going into the thing of is exclusivity.
Mhm.
One of the things I actually had heard, and I wanted to bring this up too, because again, it's interesting, especially after all of these, market rumors about, or not even rumors, this whole studio acquisition thing that happened like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
There's unconfirmed rumors, but I guess from a trusted source, that Starfield will probably end up being ported to the PS5 in 26. So
I have heard about that too.
right. So like
I actually heard about that a couple months ago, so the fact that it's coming back around is looking pretty solid.
I mean the thing is like, and again, I'm no hate on Xbox. I'm not like, I like Nintendo and PlayStation because that's kind of what I bought. Like if things had gone a different way, because I owned a lot of their systems, I'd be a Sega guy. Like I had a Dreamcast, I had a Saturn. I love both those systems. They was tanked, and there was like, okay, well, I want to keep playing cool looking games. I can buy with my pizza shop money that I had when I was in my 20s, I could buy either a PlayStation 2 or I could buy a GameCube. Which one do I get? Oh, I'll go with PlayStation. And from
I
there,
went with GameCube.
and to be fair, now I'm kind of like, oh, I wish I went with GameCube. But it's the cigarette conundrum. No one switches brands. But
I wouldn't know. I don't smoke.
lucky. So I think the thing that's really funny is that you have like, looking from the outside, it does seem very nonsensical. The like, I can't make heads or tails of what Xbox is trying to do. Like, they've always played third place. They were close at one point, but like they've never had the same numbers. I think PlayStation 5 just broke the PlayStation 3 all-time sales
Yep.
record.
I just saw that. Yeah, John Chataway, I think is what his name was. He was giving out some numbers of things, and he says it just recently beat the PS3 sales.
Right. And it's like, and again, like I get the idea behind this exclusivity, but like, from somebody who's like, I liked Bethesda games. I was cool with Fallout. I love Skyrim. I liked Oblivion. But finding out that that's going to be an only Xbox exclusive, I'm like, come on, man. Like, even PlayStation to a point is kind of getting the hint. They're putting their Spider-Man out for PC. It's not for Xbox, but it's for PC. So in theory, you could buy it, on Xbox Game Pass or whatever. You know what I mean?
Here's the funny workaround for that. The ROG Ally came out.
Yeah.
You can buy Spider-Man on Steam. You can install. Steam comes installed on the ROG Ally, which is the Xbox handheld. You can play a PS5 game on your Xbox handheld.
I think that's one of the things that I would like to see going forward in PlayStation, going into a PlayStation 6. And again, I think you might have put this on here. That, oh no, I don't think you put it on there. I guess they're looking to do a more curated Xbox experience. So now, like, all of their, and we've talked about it in the past, but like their handheld consoles are going to be expensive, but even their regular consoles are going to be extremely expensive.
So it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, Sarah Bond, who is like the head of or the president of Xbox, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, I didn't remember that she got an upgrade to her title. But yeah, like she is quoted as saying the next. I've got the quote right here. The next gen console is going to be a very premium, very high end curated experience, which people are leading to believe that means that it's going to be expensive and price out a lot of people, but it's going to do specific things or be capable of doing specific things. Have no idea because they haven't given out any other words about it, but that's considering all the marketing decisions they've made now is it doesn't sound good.
Right, and it's like I think that a way that PlayStation can really differentiate itself, Sony could kind of follow suit. Right now, we have if Xbox tanks, we have Xbox, Game Pass, Steam.
The next console is going to tell us if they tank or not because they're committed with AMD to actually make it, but if it doesn't do well, I don't see them continuing console making after that.
I don't. I mean, console making has been like it's reaching its upper limit. Like I saw a thing that basically was like,
Which
yeah,
that explains why Xbox it has such a push for this is an Xbox marketing, claiming how like the Game Pass, PC Game Pass, whatever can be on your computer, on your phone, on your actual Xbox, anything like that.
right. If Xbox does tank, though, we're going to end up with two systems, home systems. It's going to be Nintendo and Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those systems not really interchangeably friendly. You know what I mean? PlayStation a bit more. You can do remote play when you're in the same network as your house, but even then, that's not great. You know.
Yep.
I think that's the way that Sony has to differentiate themselves is by kind of going all in and making their own platform. You know what I mean?
What would that look like?
I don't know.
Like I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to think of like what that would even look like.
I mean, it would probably just end up being like. I mean, it would probably just be Sony's Xbox Game Pass. It'll be PlayStation Plus, right? But it'll have some functionality where you can download games to a computer. It'll be Steam, basically. And you buy a PlayStation if you want your premium experience, fine, like Xbox. But you also then give your player base the option of picking up a phone, picking up whatever, like make it so that your PlayStation controller can connect to a computer relatively easily. Microsoft can do that because they own Windows. That's just it's part and parcel of the game. If they could kind of honestly, like if Sony and Xbox like coordinated their efforts, they could probably make something that's pretty decent. But would we pay for it? Again, I don't know. Like that's where I honestly don't know what it would look like, but I do kind of hate the fact that like an Xbox player for a system that's not doing nearly as well in sales as PlayStation can go on their
and
phone.
That's unfortunate.
You're right, and like there's no rhyme or reason why it should be that way. And I think
I will say the Xbox is a great system. It's unfortunate that they're not doing as well, considering the 360 was like the upper echelons of console. If you had one, it was most likely a 360. But so far they've fallen. But the Series X, like even the Series S, is a good series or system for people who don't have enough money for the Series X. But the Series X is a great fucking system, and it's sad that it didn't sell as well.
Right, and actually, to be fair, like even I, PlayStation guy through and through, was thinking about getting a Series S. Like I was thinking about it because I was like, shit, man, I want to.
It's a good way to get people in the door.
Right.
It was a good introduction for people.
Right, like I want to be able to play, Starfield. I don't want to have to wait 3 years to play it when they may or may not release it on PlayStation. Like, I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. Considering they put Indiana Jones on PS5, it's more than likely going to come to the PS5 as well. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm looking at some other stuff that you got. So No Man's Sky Speaking of,
Yeah, out of nowhere. We just talked about one of their new updates, what, 2 weeks ago or something like that? And here they are with another one called Breach. This one, I'm really interested in this one and makes me really want to play No Man's Sky again. Just gotta find the time.
I know.
But this one is, it sounds like it's taking place in space more so. You got ghost starships. You do breach expeditions. There's space wrecks now. They improved the shipbuilding. You can salvage ship parts from things now. And apparently there's some things that are infested.
Holy God.
Yeah.
I'm looking through it right now. Oh, this game looks so good. Oh, by the way,
And they did an up. Hey, he joined us. Yay. Hi, Rocky.
the unofficial fourth member of the
boy.
team. Rocky.
Don't tell
He's trying
Meg.
to lick the microphone. You can't eat the microphone. You can't eat it. You can't eat the microphone, baby.
I gotta find the number of updates that No Man's Sky has had because let me get my words right. We counted it before, and I think it was like 20 something now.
It's
Since
so
release.
so evidently this is called Expedition 20. So I'm assuming that this is the 20th expansion that they put out. Good for them. Like, honestly, it was funny because that was one of our, when we first met, that was one of the first things we were talking about was No Man's Sky. And I was so excited and I was so bummed. And it's not really fair. I think that the hype train is a real thing. And I think at that point, I was all about the hype. I really need to get back and play this. I feel like this would be a really good game to just chill out. Like, part of me wants to buy for the Switch, so I can just like if I'm up here, I can just put on the Switch, play some No Man's Sky, fly around a little bit, that kind of a thing.
I have not played it in a very long time, actually, since I introduced Mike to it. So I'm hoping that they took some of the grind out because that took me out of it a lot. There's just
Yeah.
so much of that because you got to get so much of this just to turn into a small amount of this, which you need this to turn into a small amount of this to be able to do this.
Right.
It's just a lot of that back and forth shit, that's what bored me the most. I love the exploring. I love the interactions with stuff on the space. What?
Spaceships.
Yeah, those things out in space.
Yes.
Still never made it to the middle of the galaxy despite utilizing wormholes and stuff like that, which that was like the main goal I wanted to do with the game,
Right.
but never got to it.
Right. And part of me wants to jump in. Honestly, I think that this game would be. I'd like to see. I'm not going to get it when at release, obviously, but I'd love to see what if it does release for Switch 2, what optimizations it'll have, how it runs, and if it runs well, honestly, I might get it. If it's like a $30 price point, I paid $60 for the base game. Like 9 years ago, like. Sorry, Mike's actually commenting on our thing. Back to the grind. Hi, Mike. No, honestly, like, if it plays well, I think that this game really, really, really would lend itself to like a handheld system if it runs well.
Oh wait, no way. Is he watching the stream?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that. Nice.
Oh man.
I just saw him in the chat there, like he said, back to the grind. I didn't realize he was actually watching us on Twitch. Awesome. Hi, Mike. And I had to count it 40 expansions to
40.
No Man's Sky.
Wow.
40 major expansions that added shit.
God bless those
Nuts.
guys.
I know they have not stopped. The game released in 2016.
It's almost 10 years old and it's still going. Oh man! By the
Oh,
way,
you were talking about.
yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think
No, you go.
I think you might probably be. Well, no, you go ahead. Honestly, I'm curious to see where you're going to go with it.
I was just going to mention that since you were talking about No Man's Sky coming out on the Switch 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows and Fallout 4 Anniversary just got announced today for like all the systems or whatever, but it also was announced for the Switch alongside Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I think there was speculation because they didn't say anything about Shadows being released on Switch 2, but they expected it, and here we are, it actually did release.
Funny enough, actually, speaking of things going to be releasing on the Switch 2, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition just got pushed back.
Oh,
Yeah.
how come?
I'm assuming developmental delays.
Look at this.
Oh yeah.
It's all Mike talking to us on Switch or on Switch on the Twitch. I didn't even notice that.
What?
And right here at 9:51, Rocky.
Oh yeah. PlayStation stand all the way. Nice. Oh man, I gotta get back onto Twitch. That's one thing I fell off. I remember like a million years ago there was a huge data breach, and then it was like, I was like, nah, I'm probably not gonna go back on there anytime soon. Yeah, but so
You know what my problem is? I was not watching the chat on my streaming shit right here. I could have seen him talking to us and responded. Sorry, Mike. Oops.
69.
Anyway.
Anyway, so okay. So let's go into. I'm looking at something you put in here. Oh, Vampire Survivors in terms of updates, Bree.
Oh yeah. I need to get back on Vampire Survivors because there's more shit to do now.
Oh shit.
They're on a spree of updates. In the last 3 days, they've unveiled these last 3 updates, with 2 more coming. I don't know what they're going to be. Let me find my notes. I just lost it. Oh, here we are. So the first one that they showed off, and I feel like they're teasing something, because at the end of each of these little trailers, after explaining what the updates are, it looks live action, but it's like the last 2 to maybe 5 seconds are like live action snippets of horror themed things. And I don't know what that's supposed to signify. But first update was that they announced online co-op finally. No more couch co-op. You get to play online with your friends.
Oh, nice. Oh, I should get it.
Yeah.
Then we can play it together.
Please.
I mean, I
I've
should
been
get
trying
it.
to get Mike to try it.
I need to get it on a system I'm actually using, is what I mean to say.
Fair enough. It's free on iPhone. Or it was. I don't know if it still is.
Well, I have my work phone, so that's good.
There you go. The next one that they announced was something called the Free Westwoods update. It looked like it was going to be new adventures and stuff, but they also like jokingly talked about how it's gambling, because they're like, what are you going to do with all that gold? You can turn it in for less gold and do all this shit in the game. So I don't know much about that. It seemed jokey, but like it's what they were going to do. It's what their second update was. The third one was the biggest one so far. And they're updating their Ode to Castlevania DLC, which is kind of unheard of, because I don't recall the last one besides their stuff that they actually updated with new things. So for the Castlevania DLC that they put out, there's going to be 16 new characters and weapons, plus some new unions with them, new music from the people who like made the remixes for it, and an entirely new adventure for it as well.
Ooh.
And I like that they made the kind of snip where they're like, when we said everyone was here, we meant everyone was here. So now I'm wondering what other characters from the Castlevania series did they bring in? Because they had a decent amount already.
Interesting. By the way,
Are you watching the trailer?
No, I'm not watching the trailer. I'm actually buying it for the PlayStation, because I was like, oh, it's going to be like $15 or what. I'm like, no, it's $5.
No, dude.
It's $5.
Yeah, and all the DLC was like 2, 3, maybe 5. It was nothing.
Sorry, my dogs are freaking out down there. Oh, this is cool. Actually, you know what? I just realized that you can actually... Again, one of the good things about being in an online world now, I can order games from my computer, for my Switch, which is nice.
And if you have it set up too, you can have it automatically install from wherever you are.
That's what I'm doing right now, baby.
There you go.
I'm gonna be playing Vampire Survivors because I feel like
Yeah.
you know what? I feel like that's a good. Oh, I got. I'm waiting for a call in between a meeting, and I'll put on Vampire Survivors for 3 seconds. Cool. 2 unannounced more updates too. They haven't gone through those yet.
Not yet. On the last trailer, you can see, like, they have the little... Have you ever played Vampire Survivors?
Yeah. It's on my PS5.
So you know how their arcane system, it's like playing cards? You see the back of the card, and then it flips it over and does that?
Yeah.
It's the back of the playing cards, and for each update, they flip it over with a little picture, and then they talk about that update. There's still 2 more that are flipped over, like face down.
Ooh.
So waiting to see what those are.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so going into
Mike's still listening. He goes, vampires, vampires, vampires.
vampires, very Halloween themed episode.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Wave to Mike. Say hi. How you doing?
Now it looks like, oh God,
I got some Assassin's Creed news for you, but I don't know if you want me to save that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Woof.
Yeah. Did you know anything about that?
Nope.
No? Oh, shit. How do you feel reading through the notes?
Oh man, this all bad. So evidently, and again, based on, I haven't opened up the actual article. Assassin's Creed 3 director says they had to kill off Desmond Miles to stop lore Nazis, which very choice words, from policing everything, and ensure the franchise could survive within the mainstream. So you took the one grounding. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, like you took the one grounding element to all those games, and you were like, let's just nix him, and we'll just make it so. What?
So reading through the article, it really felt like because Ubisoft stepped in and had them do more, it added more weight to things and kind of made it messy. So he's like, well, we gotta have some sort of reset, but it kind of threw everything off at that point.
Right.
I was gonna say, does the name Alex Hutchinson sound familiar or anything?
Yes, that definitely does.
He was the creative director that said that.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that tracks. I mean, I get the idea, but Assassin's Creed was originally. So I guess herein lies the big rub, right? And I think we've talked about this before too. And this Assassin's Creed's really hit on this as a franchise. Call of Duty does the same thing. When you have to release a game every year, you have to release a game every year. It doesn't matter if it's crap.
I don't think that they had planned on that originally, though, based on reading through the article.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They probably had... Because, again, from Assassin's Creed 1 to 2, there was a period of 5 years. I think there was a console generation between those... Well, no, there wasn't. It was all on PS3, as far as I remember.
And all on 360.
And 360. But then, right... Assassin's Creed 2 comes out. It does phenomenally. Everyone loves it. It gets lauded as being one of the best sequels to a game ever made.
Yep.
Well, now you're on Ubisoft's in their crosshairs
radar,
right? And they're like, "Oh, cool.
We need more.
We need more of that." And so then they have to release Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which, again, as I can see in your notes,
and then Revelations.
And then Revelations, because people liked it.
They had to tie that all up.
Right. And they had to do the full Ezio story. And then they do 3, and then everyone's like, we don't know who this guy is. So, okay. Which, by the way, I love Assassin's Creed 3. And...
Same.
That's where it gets really interesting to me, from a story-based lore perspective, the only thing tying those 3 games together, and again, when I say 3, I mean 5, but 3 games together is
number 3
is Desmond. So when you remove him, okay, now you're stuck with a premise of you get to go in the past, but there's no one to go into the past because you've killed off the main character.
Mike says 3 is where he started in the franchise.
That's an interesting one. That's a good place to start. I mean, that's a really cool game.
I would say skip 1, start from 2.
Yeah. Well, no. I would say you have to play 1. And the only reason I would say you have to play 1, not for lore reasons, but because the jump... First of all, I remember when 1 came out, and I remember playing 1, and I was floored with the amount of people that are on screen at any given time. I was floored, which is funny now.
Did you forget Dynasty Warriors or 99 Nights?
Right, but those are, and not to say this in a bad way, but those are mindless mobs charging you.
That's fair.
Right. This is a series of random people, in a very like constructed artistic interpretation of, Acre or Jerusalem or wherever you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you like you feel immersed. The immersion was crazy. The game itself is pretty boring. It's in retrospect playing it again.
It's very repetitive.
It's super repetitive. And then you play Assassin's Creed 2. And all of those things that were repetitive. And there was it's
Hang on. Stepping back, the one thing that got me from Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 was, like, a lot of the things I was reading from this article, too, was, like, 2 is where the whole aliens and precursor shit, like premonition stuff came in. But people are forgetting that at the end of 1, the whole bleed effect with the Animus caused Desmond to see writing on the wall
Right.
that was leading into all that stuff.
right.
And that's what hooked me. I'm like, oh, I need to know more about this stuff. And then they went full in on 2.
Right. And that's one of the things I really loved about and again, people are polarized on the present day storylines, but the whole conceit.
The way that they wrote that,
Yeah.
this would have been perfect if it was just a trilogy.
Right.
If they had 3 lead into the modern day Assassin's Creed stuff, it would have made a lot more sense and been a lot more cohesive.
Right. But again, no one's going to kill that money train. Keep churning them out. And I think that's again one of those things where it's like,
Oh, dude. You can see the Assassin's Creed effect in a lot of Ubisoft games now, which is why all the maps are littered with crap to go and find and do and collect and stuff.
it's a combination of Assassin's Creed, it's Assassin's Creed and oh my god, what's the other big Ubisoft first-person shooter? You often
Far Cry.
Far Cry. It's a combination of those two games that really cemented that. And again, this is the problem. Listen to your fan base at your own peril, because people loved Assassin's Creed and they loved it to death.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Far Cry, like it's not like a release every year. Like it's a release every couple years, but like it's
Yeah, they take their time, but it's still a lot of the same game, just a different place, different main characters and stuff like that. But it's still, you're running around some area with a gun doing something and liberating areas and getting new guns and meeting new people.
Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting too. Again, I haven't played anything past Syndicate. Well, no, past
I see you
Origins.
highlighting the little note I have in there.
Yes, where Desmond is still technically alive, but I mean, here's the thing. You could bring it back. I think that there is a world where you
I want to know how. I haven't played Valhalla, so I'm curious as to what that means. Like, what does it mean that he's technically alive in some form in Valhalla?
I want to know, because I've gone so far away from the series. Assassin's Creed Shadows, is that more of a Valhalla-esque RPG, or is that more of a what's the one that Mirage? Is that a more of a Mirage going back to the old school? I honestly don't know. I know it's very similar to.
It's a more fluid version of that. It's like an action RPG with more focus on stealth if you're I forget what her name is, or if you're Yasuke. He's more like action oriented, whereas the other one's more stealth.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm not slamming that game, though. I mean, again, if I have the choice, do I buy
Got good reviews.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't own that game, and I don't own Ghost of Yotai, and I'm definitely getting Ghost of Yotai. Which, by the way, one thing we're gonna do next time we do this podcast, I want to hear where you're at in Ghost of Tsushima. We're a little late in the game now to do that, but I want to know. You have to text me during the week especially when you get to the sad part. Oof,
Okay.
that one hurts.
I already feel bad for what's her name losing all of her family. Like, I'm almost finished with her little side story thing.
Oh, totally. And okay, so here's actually a question, because I saw you put something in here for Counter-Strike. I'm not a big I was not a CS:GO guy. I've never been a big Counter-Strike person. You weren't?
I followed
right?
it on the fringes.
Right.
No, I would like keep up with the stories, like check out some of the competitions that were going on. The whole marketplace for selling skins and stuff was kind of interesting, but it was never about that world. But it was always interesting hearing about that, and then the fallout that came from that stuff too.
Right.
So to hear some of this shakeup that Valve has done for CS2 is interesting. They decided to expand on their whole trade-up contract system, which is a way for you to get knives and gloves, apparently. And they changed the system to where you can now trade in like 5 of what's called stat track covert items and for a stat track knife, or 5 regular covert items for a standard knife or gloves from the provided collections. But in doing so, this allows you to continually trade up, I guess, copies of these things to different rarities, which makes the harder to get ones that you would normally get from like drops or the third-party marketplaces or something like that, which are supposed to be really rare. But this increases the ability to get those things. And in doing so, they kind of undercut the community's market share by, from what they say, was it went from about 6 billion, explain to me how, to under 5 billion.
Wow. Whoops.
Yeah. And I like that one of the Redditors that I saw talking about this too, they pointed out the screenshot that that was used in the article. The gloves were about 6,000 on the marketplace, and then the knife itself goes from 7 to 12,000. Who is paying for those things?
People who love Counter-Strike, evidently.
I must really love it a lot. But there was one thing that they called out in the article, which I know that there are people who are, they have things going on, so like a shock to the system like that kind of hurts their bottom line or would harm them financially is going to have an intense emotional reaction to it. But when someone says that something like this, let me get the exact quote because I don't want to misquote it, but they said, you guys know that people are probably going to harm themselves because of this, yet you pushed it out without hesitation. Crazy. I don't think that they're doing it intentionally to hurt anybody. They're trying to make a game easier and like the access to things a lot easier for people, especially for people who don't have thousands of dollars to spend on a glove and a knife for a video game.
Right.
But I feel like that's an unfair assumption or reaction to that. Like, yes, maybe that's true, but why are you throwing it back on the company like they're doing it intentionally?
I mean, so my only takeaway from that is, do I think the company did any of this? Well, I guess here's my thing. They are the ones who created the whole ecosystem and they fed into it to begin with. The whole financial bubble that was in Counter-Strike. They made it. So if they go and do something that...
They also don't control all of it.
They do, though. They have this...
Well, I mean, the markets for that. They have the Steam community market, but then there's also third-party sites that you can go to buy, like, these skins and things.
Sure, I guess
so they only control so much of it.
Sure, I guess so, but they're the ones who are making the assets. The company is, right?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
So at the end of the day, like, so let's say I have a Counter-Strike. Like, let's say I make Counter-Strike and I make Super Cool Knife number 1, and Super Cool Knife number 1 goes for $10,000, and then I say, hey, guess what? 3 years down the line, I'm going to make 40,000 Super Cool Knife number 1s, right? You made the rarity, you made the demand. You never, when it started selling for crazy amounts of money, you didn't come in and say, whoa, let's police this a little bit. Because people are paying that, and I can almost guarantee you people are paying that to, even if it's being bought from a third-party site, company's still making revenue, and at the end of the day, they could have come in and said, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make all of this free. You know what I mean? Like, we'll put it out there. But they didn't. And then they waited, and then to try to drive people back into the game, they made it easier or changed the mechanic. And now people are kind of like, well, what the hell, dude? People, gave up their life savings for this. I mean, they kind of did, Like...
They kind of went all in on it.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, if you, as a person, you should have the ability to spend your hard-earned money on whatever you want. But if a company is, I mean, it's like the whole DraftKings thing, where it's like, if you're making a commodity and then marketing said commodity to be something that you need if you're in that community, and then 2 years later making it so that everyone can have it, if you were the first person to buy that thing for a ridiculous amount of money, you know, I don't think that they're doing it so that people can go hurt themselves. They're doing it to like shit on their fans, but they should have probably nipped that in the bud to begin with years ago, so that way you didn't have people spending $12,000 on a knife and $6,000 on a pair of gloves. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Also on the Steam front, though, apparently there's been some research on like games that have come out on the system in the ecosystem itself, and I guess this year there was nearly 13,000 games that were put on Steam. And Steam has this thing where if you want to publish on their service system, whatever you want to call it, they have $100 install fee. Apparently, not like at least 5,000 of those games that have come out didn't make enough to cover that $100 fee to put their game on there, and only about 8,000 of them made, like the rest of the 8,000 made just under $1,000. And only 8% of that whole total has made $100,000 on Steam.
Right.
So I think it's safe to say that the market is kind of flooded when it comes to indie games, and you have to you got to really shout to like get your game seen. But
yeah.
It's also like that's one market. We're not looking at like GOG or Epic, or I don't even know if you can put yours on Ubisoft yet, but there's a handful of other markets, but you still have to make a lot of noise and have something that stands out to like get your thing seen.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the nature of any like commodity-based business, right? If you're in there to make money, I had a friend who wanted to do a YouTube channel, and he was like, like again, like we put out a podcast. We're doing it for the love of the game, man. Like, if we have Mike watching in the back. Sup, Mike? But at the end of the day, like I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing this for like. This is a thing. It's a really fun thing to do, to hang out with my friends. If you're doing it to make money, then I read a book by Stephen King. It was called On Writing when I was back in my English major days, and basically he was like, "Okay, so you think that you're going to be a writer and be profitable? Like 1% of writers." Like 1% publish something, not make millions of dollars, publish something. Of that 1%, 1% of those people publish something and actually make a, not a considerable amount of money, but some kind of money. Not money to live, just money. And then 1% of those people make, like it just trickles down.
Right.
There's always going to be like a flooded marketplace for something like, indie games. Everyone wants to make the next Undertale, and everyone thinks that they can. And some of them are probably good, or if not better than Undertale. But how would you ever know? Because there's 13,000 other games that you have to get through.
Right.
Yeah, it's craziness.
I mean, this is not a small indie game, but like I had mentioned, Absolem didn't come on my radar until it was released. Never heard of it, didn't know it was coming out. It was like, it had my name written all over because it was the kind of game I liked and wanted to play.
Right.
I'm glad that I saw it, but like, had no idea. There's no noise, no fanfare.
Right.
You have to fight to get through all that shit.
Right. And that's tough for for indie developers. And actually, I was kind of reading a thing of where one of the AAA companies, like one of their former heads, was like, honestly, we really should, AAA companies really should stop putting out AAA games. Maybe put out one or two. No, like, that should stop being their focus. What they should be doing is really developing their AA and single A and really indie games, putting that out onto the market, because it's a lot more stable. And also, at the end of the day, like we talked about Assassin's Creed, there's a million Assassin's Creed likes, there's a million Breath of the Wild, there's Horizons, there's these, Spider-Man, there's Halo, these huge, big blockbuster games, and that can't be sustainable. You can't just those games. You invest so much,
You're funneling all the money into developing those.
right?
And I like that you mentioned that too, because there was a point in time where Xbox and Microsoft was all about that. They had that whole Xbox Arcade series where it was all these indie developers that got. I mean, they even had indie at Xbox that highlighted indie developers and their games that they were making.
Right.
They put them on the front of the game store on the 360 and was talking about them. They had their own space. You knew where to find them. There was always something new to see, and you wouldn't lose out on seeing them.
Right.
But now we've kind of moved away from that and moved on to like first party stuff, like you said.
Right, and that's kind of, and it's
And Mike is right. This is how we get $100 games.
right, exactly, and this is how we get all. There's only two tiers of games. There's $100 games, AAA games, and there's $5 Vampire Survivor, and anything in the middle is just nothing. You know what I mean? You either have, it's basically AAA $100 game, $5 Vampire Survivor, and then free to play, and that's
Or $20 indie game, and that's it.
Right.
And you never know what you're going to get.
right. And the $20 indie game space is going to eventually get flooded because again, there's a million of them.
Yes.
All right.
I like that Mike's not even on the podcast, and he's still participating.
Oh, always there, never fails.
Love it.
Loving it. I got two more things, and then I'm going to be honest with you because Shawnee getting old. Shawnee getting tired.
I mean, I was ready to call it, but let's hear it.
All right. Two things. One,
Yes.
Alan Wake Studio Remedy's CEO stepped down. Now,
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to highlight it is because of this game, FBC, Firebreak. I
Yes.
did not know anything about this. I was like, wait, what? There
Really?
was a spin-off
Mike
game?
and I played it for a little while. Yeah.
So, and I was kind of reading through the article because I read a review on it because I was like, I was like, I honestly didn't know anything about
Was
this.
the review when the game first came out or after they updated it?
I think it was when it first came out. Basically, they were saying like, okay, so the person who wrote the art, I think wrote the review. I think it was Kotaku. It was on Kotaku. Was basically like, okay, I played this game. I've been in like 6 different games. I've been in a bunch of them, and my job is always putting out fires. And I'm like, wait, what? There's a
Mike says you need to get it so we can all play.
well.
It's a 3-man squad game.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Evidently, it was not good enough to keep the CEO of Remedy around, and they think again, it wasn't. They didn't expressly say that was the reason he left, but
It sure seems that way.
right, totally. I wanted to bring that up to you because I was like, oof, that's a swing and a miss.
I was reading about that. But under this dude, they had a lot of wins too. I mean, he oversaw the production of Alan Wake 2. He helped secure the rights to get Max Payne 1 and 2, so that way they can redo it with Rockstar footing the bill for development on that, I believe. Control 2 is in development because of them,
Yeah,
or because of him. What else? There's another. They worked with Epic to finish the funding for Alan Wake 2 and maintain the rights to the IP rather than having to sell it off.
right.
Akin to how Alan Wake 1 got with Xbox and Microsoft, which they had to do partial IP rights with them to get the funding for Alan Wake 1, which I think under him he actually helped buy the rights back to that, so that way it's wholly under Remedy as well now.
Right.
So he's done a lot of good.
Oh, totally. And to be fair, like I think one whiff should not be the end of a career. Again, I don't know enough about this
Right.
guy. He might, based on his output of the games that were output under his leadership. I mean, it's Control and Alan Wake, like two of the most like cryptozoological, weird alt history, like X-Files-esque games of all time that everyone loves.
I always it's if you like David Lynch, you'll like those games.
Yeah, and then but again, it was really. I think I need to read more about it. Maybe if FBC comes out on the Switch too, I'll get it and we can do crossplay or something.
It was on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. That's how we were doing it, and there's crossplay. So
Ooh, so I'm going to do this. Copy video address. And this is the last thing I'm going to put out. Because again, I'm getting tired. But I'm going to put this in here in the group chat.
I'm looking.
And hopefully this isn't a thing. But for you Lego nerds, there is a full-on arcade cabinet.
That is awesome.
Wait for it. Oh, that's only the. Oh, he doesn't. That's not the. Okay, hold on. It's not
That is
showing
so
the
cool.
entire video.
Does it open up? Oh, I think I've seen this. It opens up and there's a little minifig
Yes.
inside, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
It's so cool. I saw that.
That is
I
cool.
was like, I need to get this. I need to get this on the podcast and also buy it for myself.
Yeah. Christmas is coming up. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hell yeah. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for us. So if you want more video game news, you want to talk to us on socials, you want to hear some news about video games, or just say hi, we are on Facebook and Instagram and Blue Sky and Threads. And you can follow us on the Patreon and subscribe to our YouTube. The YouTube video, or the video form of the podcast goes up every morning. Every Wednesday morning, along with the podcast audio form of the podcast. I'll get better at this one of these days. Podcasts go live on Wednesday. So does the video form on YouTube. We record Thursday nights. I'm going to say 8:30 to 9. So tune in every week. You'll see our pretty faces again. Hit us up on the socials, though. We'll talk to you there.
All right.
And Mike, say goodbye. Say goodnight if you're there still.
Mike says goodbye.
I think we're going to say bye too now.
All right. Later.
Bye.